Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Episode 7 deals with parents. A child is born to a couple, and this happens to be a second child to that couple. The lady works in a house, serves the masters there to the best of her ability. That family was very affluent, but they did not have children. So the house lady approached this woman and said, "Now that you have 2 children, can you gift one to us so that we will also have the joy and benefit of rearing a child with us?" The couple consulted for a while. The man was very particular, and the woman, of course, with all the emotional strain in it, she still agreed for this because, after all, she is going to be watching the child grow very well in the family in which the child is going to be given in adoption. The child is reared very well. The child is taken care of, and it starts progressing very well and shapes into a good human being in the long run. But a teething phase problem, childhood problem, adolescent problem, problems of youth had to be transcended at every stage of life. Now look at this. The parents who have taken it on adoption rears a child with a lot of care physically, whereas the parents who have given the child in adoption lives with the child emotionally. The reason for citing an example of this nature is whether you are a child to your own parents or a child to your adopted parents. Acharya says every child has certain duties and obligations towards their parents. He broadly classifies it into 3 categories straight away. First, Acharya says every child should worship their parents as visible gods. Worshipping parents is the first quality every child has to inculcate. 2, every child has to rever its parents. Reverence is a very indispensable quality, something which needs to be ingrained from childhood. And third quality is implicit obedience to parents. So, for all that emotional stress and strain which parents take in rearing a child, it's not a question of indebtedness or giving it back. The child is morally obliged to do these 3 things. Only then God, which is the ultimate maker, would be pleased. Worship, reverence, and implicit obedience. This happens as long as the parents live in this world. Acharya says, once parents depart, there is an obligation on the sons to perform the Shraddha with absolute Shraddha. Now the question often raised is, we perform something here thinking it would reach the main somewhere else. Why and how it would happen? For which Acharya cites only this simple example. Don't you put money in your account here, and does it not get transferred to some other account in many multiple forms possible? When this is possible in a mere sheer bank transfer, God the Creator has done it in such a way that every Shraddha performed with Shraddha by an individual, the benefit of it will reach the mains in whatever loka they occupy and in whatever form they are in. Acharya makes it very clear the benefit will reach in that particular form to suit their particular need, And therefore, performing the Shraddha is an indispensable quality, indispensable feature in a son's life. Therefore, when they are alive, worshipping them, revering them, being obedient forms the cluster of love towards parents. And after their departure, the love has to be discharged as a duty in performing the Shraddha. These four are indispensable for children, so that you will always, in fact, Acharya says, by performing the Shraddha, the benefit also tangible for the performer. All this put together make a good child-parent relationship. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha.